We are back. The Breakdown Boys, Wade Sensei.
Us. We back.
You good over there?
In the building.
About to drown over there.
Bro.
Okay.
Easy now.
All right, drive in. Baby, don't hold your breath. My voice hasn't come back, but Sensei, today we're going to talk about the main events of the Prime card. Before we do that, we want to shout out everybody, man. Massive thank you to the people in the last week and a half to 2 weeks, really in the last, since this channel has been alive. We're at 80,000 subs, on the way to 100K. Crazy.
80?
We hit 80, man. The big 80.
Let's go. I didn't even know that.
Big clap
go,
up for the entire community. The Breakdown merch drop went amazingly. It's now live. We're keeping all the stuff on the store, we decided. And also, we had a discussion about adding some new things to the store. And I got sent an email, and I just want to look at it really quickly because Sensei had some strong opinions on said email. Shout out! I want to shout out to the guy that sent it to me. Sensei, would you like to read this man's name, because I'm going to butcher it?
Malik?
Well, the first part.
All I see is Malik.
You don't see the first part of his name? You don't see this? You can act like you don't see it, but you see that.
Abdul Rahman? Rahman?
Abdul Rahman.
It's Rahman.
Abdul Rahman.
Abdul Rahman.
Okay, you're rolling the R's now. You're getting crazy. But he sent some mock-ups for potential Breakdown merch. And I wanted to highlight one. This one I liked. I was like, oh, okay, this would be cool. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a nice vintage shirt. That would be something we would like. And then immediately, FaZe Sensei came in with the shutdown, dog. Shut down, he said.
No, I like, what are you talking about?
Well,
I like the style.
You like the style, or do you like the design?
The design, I meant. The style of the design.
Okay, well, you don't like the style of the shirt?
Well, you told me what kind of shirt it was, and I was like, I can't do that, bro. I just can't do it.
So I showed him the shirt style, at least what I thought it would be. You know, one of those vintage kind of oversized tees that you be seeing these days. Something like this. You know what I'm saying? With the Outcast and the whole deal. What's wrong with that, dude?
Bro, this is what I wore in middle school. That's what I look like. No, I'm not kidding.
This was you in middle school?
Same fit.
This was you in middle school.
Bro, this without the tats, that's literally
First
me
off,
in
you
middle
never
school.
had that hair. Don't even act like you had that kind of lineup. That's great. He had waves.
I used to get that lineup with we call it a blowout right there.
Hey, yo. That's crazy. Then what? I don't know. But listen, regardless of what you were doing, that's not a bad look.
No, I can't. I used to wear that in 5th, 6th, 7th grade.
Okay.
I thought I was the man, homie. In high school, not in high school, but in middle school, I was the man, homie. Bro, I walk around like with that hair. Bro,
right.
That's what I was wearing.
Okay. So you
I can't go back.
You can't go back. Now, I'm not saying
that, that's different. You know, it's just, you know, everyone got a preference. But now I'm a grown man. I'm married. You know what I'm saying?
So what you're saying is grown men can't wear this. That's what you're saying.
Not me. Not this grown man right here. I can't.
Bro, you told me that athletes can't wear this unless they had tattoos and highlights.
Honestly, unless you look like Odell Beckham Jr. or Chris Brown, or you're like a skater boy. You know what I'm saying?
She said, "See you later, boy." Dang.
No, what? Okay.
She was a skater boy. She said,
I
"See
feel
you
like
later,
that,
boy."
or unless you're like in high school.
Okay.
You know, if you're in high school, fire.
So I can't pull this off, is what you're saying.
Yeah, bro. No, sir.
Why not?
Bro, I don't know, dude.
Thing gonna be falling off my shoulders like waterfalls? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, bro.
So what? I got narrow shoulders. So what? We go in there? Dude, fine. Yeah, I'm built like a freaking pole.
It's cool. Fit of the youth.
Yeah, facts. Well, that's the thing is we have a very youthful audience. So comment section.
Yeah, again.
You let us know down below. You know what? Your boy. You know who would wear this? Your boy Ricky. He would wear the shit out of this.
Facts, but like skater boy, rock star, like a rock star could wear that.
Ricky's
a rock star, bro. You know what I'm saying? Ricky would be a rock star.
I'm a rock star
to
too.
The end.
I'm a rock star.
No, bro, you're not Banks rock star.
No, you're right.
Banks is an actual rock star.
I'm more like the credit union to his banks. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not the actual bank.
I'm like the freaking clerk. Hello, welcome to Bank of America. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Anyway,
I'm the guy that greets. I'm the guy that greets at the bank.
You're not the clerk. You're the doorkeeper.
I'm the greeter. You know what I'm saying? I smell good. I got a clean cut. I got business cards and stuff. That's what I'm doing. That's it, dude.
Business cards at the fucking door greeter. Oh my God. Well, we'll put some more stuff on the shop, and this may be one of them because I think our audience comment section. You let us know. Would y'all be messing with this? You know what I'm saying? I think y'all would, but regardless,
I think so too.
Regardless, Sensei is confirmed he's not rocking that shit. So let's talk about two other grown men in the boxing ring. This Saturday, we had the main event of the Prime card. Can we just we're going to do a lot of these breakdowns individually, but can we just take a second and shout out the amount of hype and the amount of attention that was brought to influencer boxing through the Prime card? I think the report is... You saw that?
What's the report?
Yeah.
What's the report? 1.3?
1.3 right now. Obviously, we don't know how accurate things are. We're still very early, so there could be more numbers coming out. But if that's the number, that's fantastic, dude. Yeah, everyone takes a bow. Misfits, massive show. Yep. The people that put it on from DAZN, fantastic set design, production, the whole thing. And obviously the fighters for showing up. Well, most of the fighters for showing up and doing what they were supposed to do. Now, hold on one second. Let's talk about the main event today because we're going to do these videos individually. Some people were saying that the hype around this event was not lived up to because of and including the main event and the co-main event. We're going to talk about Logan and Dylan. I think it's a whole separate issue, but what are your thoughts on this main event? Just before we even get into who won or whatever happened, what are your thoughts on the main event?
Well, regardless, again, you can talk about the fighting skill or whatever. I don't want to hear nothing about that. This is the same old thing that happens every weekend in fighting, in boxing and MMA. If there's no knockdowns, there's no threat of a finish, and it goes to a decision, it's probably going to be a boring fight, especially if obviously the punch count is not extremely high. But almost every fight has clinching and has boring parts. You see some of the best fighters in the world get booed. Yeah. So that happens. It's just everyone forgets about it when the person gets clipped in the 4th round or in the 8th round.
Yep.
Or there's a knockdown, because you at least get that, you get that moment, right? And you just never got that moment. And with a big fight like this, you're waiting for that moment. And we almost got it a couple times, which is, part of it too. So I don't, it's whatever. It's going to happen and then not just with influencer boxing. A big card, we've seen it with MMA, especially the UFC or boxing so many times. Yeah. Where everyone is, take my money back, all that stuff, Yeah. Because the fight goes the distance and wasn't any knockdowns.
Right.
Don't care what combat sport it is. It's never going to be the best it could be because that's what's supposed to happen. That's what you want to happen.
You want it to be the very best. In a situation like this, it was almost impossible, dude, to live up to the hype that was created here because your imagination takes hold at some point. And I actually like that. I want people to be so emotionally invested that they, create the wildest scenarios in their head for what could happen because that's what this is, man. At the end of the day, we're trying to entertain. And yes, sometimes you're going to get let down, but especially in this case with the personalities involved and the hype for months built around it, it was almost impossible to live up to. There's rarely a sport that lives up to the hype like it needs to. The UFC does a good job of it. Some fights in the boxing realm will do that. But for the majority of the time, like you said, there's going to be pockets in space where you're like, okay, well, kind of wish it would have went, whatever. But I think that more, in my opinion, in the space that we're in, that applies more to the co-main event. But the boxing heads and the professional fighters looked at KSI Tommy as, well, that's not boxing. Look at these two. They can't box. And including Tommy in that. And that's fine. We're always going to get that as influencer boxers. That's always going to be the case. But I hope that this grew the profile of influencer boxing, which I thought it did more so than, and even if it did reinforce that we're just influencer boxing, I hope it didn't turn people off based on, again, what I think is more the co-main event in Dylan Dennis, but we'll get to that in another video. So I just wanted to say that ahead of time, but let's get into the fight, man.
Yeah, but just real quick though, when I see it, kind of like roll my eyes because you'll see boxers talk about it. Like, okay, first of all, your sport is dying and has been dying because the judging is crap. People complain every time a fight goes to the distance, and you never get the fights that you want anyways. So boxing alone is already a troubled sport.
Talk to him.
Right? Also, Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley, besides the knockout, how what do you think how was that
Very
fight going?
clunky. Very clunky.
Anderson Silva, Jake Paul, how was that fight going until Jake Paul knocked him down?
A little slow pace.
Right. You get a lot of clinching, a lot of missing, right? Boos even.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Anderson was getting booed. You know what I mean?
That Tyron Woodley Jake 2 fight, there were some boos coming out for sure, buddy.
Yeah. So but then people remember boom,
the big knockout.
Unless you have like a war, which means a war means multiple knockdowns, unless the person is like practically knocked down. That's what you need. If you don't have that, and everyone remembers that. So I'm like, whatever. And people will complain. We see it, like I said it before again, but with boxing fights, I'm done with boxing. Yeah. MMA, I'm done with it. And you're getting the best fighters ever.
Yeah.
The fact is, they did 1.3.
Crazy.
So take that, sucker.
Hold on that.
Okay, now we continue.
So let's talk about the fight now, because Sensei just put them people in a body bag inside a body bag. Let's talk about this fight. I want to go round by round if we can. We're kind of working off memory because we still haven't seen most of the full fight. Okay. There's been highlights, and we can take a look at the highlights here, but there's been no, at least to my knowledge, release of the actual broadcast of the full fight. Like
it's
you'll
probably
see.
More of the rounds that we know that were in question.
Yeah, so let's start there.
Which is like 2 and 6. Anyways,
2 and 6. I would say even 5, to be honest. I remember 5 being a closer round than I thought originally. But let's go through and let's just talk about like your first impressions from the fight. We'll put this on mute and I'll just have it playing. Your first impressions of the fight once we got started. What did you see out of JJ that either surprised you or, was better?
Well, I wasn't sure how he was going to come out, and I was worried that he was going to come out and try to like box traditionally like he usually does and then switch to his stance late, and it might be too late. But I was pleased to see this right away. The fact that he immediately came out. The fact that he came out immediately in that bladed stance. Yep. I said it before, and on the podcast, I said if he needs to have any chance, he needs to be bladed and do this the entire time. Yep. And why is that? Because it gives him his best chance to land a punch, and also when he lands, he can clinch and get out of danger. Because the medium range is the range where he is. When you look at KSI and Tommy Fury, you go, "Oh, there's a big gap, and there's a big gap in their boxing." Where is the gap? The gap, number one, is defense. And the gap is that medium range where they're continuing to box, where they stay in range and throw punches, and the combinations
where Jake
are flying.
tried to fight Tommy.
Right. That is where the gap is. Right? When JJ can just make this like I go and I clinch and then I'm done and I can get back to space, he can control that a lot more. And then the gap isn't as big anymore.
Yeah.
Right, because he can keep the fight there. As soon as he starts, trying to add defense and movement and clinch and, the dirty boxing and all those little things that in the pocket fighting, that's where the gap is a lot bigger, where Tommy has that experience. So
I said this.
To me, I was like, JJ, I was saying the pod, if JJ can keep this up, he can make this a fight for him. He can at least control it and keep himself in the fight is what what I felt.
And he did a lot more than that. I thought that the best way to describe what I saw from JJ was he fights, and I don't know how people are going to react because I just recorded it today, but he fights in negatives. If that makes a lot of sense, like he negates a lot of what you do with things that he does. Tommy's best weapon in this fight was going to be his jab.
Right.
JJ negated it pretty quickly. And it was pretty much from rip, and it may have been just from this right hand, and also, like you said, the bounce, the timing of the bounce, being able to like get reactions out of Tommy and then go. And Tommy, he has his own issues with his jab, using it a little overzealously, like he pushes himself too far with it, which is, again, another indicator that maybe Tommy Fury's not what he thought he was and not what we thought he was.
Yeah. That was what surprised me, honestly. I was like, Tommy was so unprepared. They thought it was just, he's wild and unorthodox, and he's coming with the loop in hand. No, this is a purposeful style.
I was going to say, this is practice.
This movement pattern is point fighting, karate-esque.
Right here. There's the
style.
feint, right? He bounces, gets that reaction out of Tommy, bounces, then goes. Okay, cool. Bounce, and boom. Big shot.
Beautiful. And look at the reaction.
Big shot. Tommy's
Totally
like,
not
okay.
ready for this at all.
Not at all.
Confused.
And Tommy's got a chin on him because that one hits him pretty hard. But
Yep.
that was a big-time shot, and he ate up a lot of space with it. Right? And you know what? A lot of what we made about Tommy's reach, too, JJ has a bit of a reach on him, man. And we don't talk about it enough,
JJ's always had long arms, but
bit
now
of a
with this
lanky
style,
look.
this
Look
style
at that space he
accentuates that
or
reach.
eats up really quickly, man. Right? Because right here, he's pretty much out of range. Tommy could just step back and he's fine, right? But this space gets eaten up so quick. Bang on the double step. Look at already we're here.
Inside trap. Look at that left hand.
Trap. Harry, bang.
Pull the hand down.
Tommy's.
That also makes you closer.
What the fuck?
By the way.
Yeah.
Because you can't move back because you're holding.
Jeez. Nasty shot. So this was one of the first things. And look, you even see Tommy trying to get on his jab again, and it's like, bro, he's just all out of sorts, right? He's like, let me
only
just.
JJ went to the left hook after these, bro. If he just decided to go left hook after a lot of these, Bran.
Off balance. Goes to that. That was
Right
a nice
there.
shot
He
to the
decided
body.
to go left hook or left vertical jab. Oh, man.
And what's the significance, too, of what JJ... That's a nice right hand from Tommy. What's the significance of JJ, flailing his arms out like that? And the same, and MVP does it as well.
Flailing, that's been like a big part of it,
Yeah.
And
A
I'm
lot of people are
online
online doing that. Yeah,
I gotta defend my karate now.
No, I need to know because that's why I'm asking you.
This is why. So when you're running,
yep.
Where do you want your hands, and what do you want them doing?
When you're running. 90-90.
Okay. They got to be moving back down by your side. When you're moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to get into a basketball stance, you're going to move laterally.
Mm-hmm.
Where your hands going to go?
Out to your sides.
Yeah, son. Okay. Because they're going to move better this way, right? If you're doing ladders, as we saw JJ do,
yep.
right? His hands were a little high there, but that's for a later date. But when you kick, right? You don't want to kick like this and tie, right? We have our hands drop,
right?
Flash by our
momentum,
hips.
right?
So what happens is, like Taekwondo, why do they fight with their hands down? Because it allows them to move their feet. Now, obviously, with karate, there's a lot of kicking involved.
Yeah.
So the hands down is actually more so that you can easily kick, and you can use the push-pull force, opposing force, to move your legs better. So that's why you get karate guys to do that as much. You don't need it as much in boxing. However, when your hands are down and they're moving like this, you can push. It's just like anything else, an explosive movement. If you're doing like any type of explosive footwork drill and you want to move your feet faster, your hands have to move adjacent to it.
So you're essentially saying it helps JJ with his explosivity.
Yes,
it helps him build
the explosion, the
quickness,
footwork,
power very quickly.
Correct. And also, it's a distraction because they're in motion.
Right. So it's hard to see that punch coming as well because traditional boxing, those hands will be a little bit closer to your face. You kind of have that field of vision. But when they're doing this number and then all of a sudden there's a lot of things going on that your eyes are trying to track at once.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, it has
what's funny is that JJ is a novice when it comes to using like karate footwork. Like this karate footwork here is pretty like standard for like sport karate.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so I was talking about the feints. He was there's more things he could have done. And I'm over here like, why is this working so well?
Right.
And
you said it during the live stream. You said, I thought you had a really good point. You were like, this shouldn't be working, but you're also like, damn, should I I don't do this as much because I think boxers are going to see it.
Right. But a part of me also realized that because I'm a karate guy, they would expect it more.
Okay.
And I think with JJ, it's so unorthodox as well, and he has his own way that's a little unorthodox that he goes about it.
I was gonna say it's like
double
unorthodox
awkward
on top of unorthodox.
Yes, it's like double unorthodox, double awkward, and that makes it dangerous because he's explosive.
And that's the big power behind it, right? Like without that explosivity, this doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like the chain of command falls a little bit clunkier when the explosivity's not there. But when he's explosive, it's like everything flows together in a way that's like it's hard to recreate. You like you said, we were talking about this. Tommy, he didn't prepare for it because how could you, unless you went and got whoever out of the karate background to do this. You're not getting amateur boxers to do this.
No, they can't. They
You know what I'm
can't.
saying? They can
Unless they have.
exaggerate a looping overhand, but that's not what he got in this fight. You know what I'm saying?
And
He
you
got
actually
switched
made a
on
good
JJ.
point about Tommy and his jab, him overextending a lot in his jab.
So much.
And I was like, he started to figure out later, which we'll see. But Tommy, he was pushing and coming forward, and he was waiting for his opportunity to do that instead of intercepting and countering and trading.
Which something you would think a guy like him would be far more, experienced with, and it just wasn't there. It was and it was funny because it was a mirror of what JJ was doing always. He was just mirroring movements. He was all the way out of him. JJ was all the way in versus stepping in and meeting him.
Because JJ, when you're doing that, you can only move in a straight line.
Yeah, and Tommy was
you're blitzing,
and
so
Tommy
you're
was
committed. You can't reverse. You can't put the brakes on, bro. Once you go forward, that's it. It's over.
And it's again, Tommy just I don't know, and it's easy for like that right there is what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Watch this jab from Tommy, and it's just baffling to me. Like that's probably what you wanted. Here was what you wanted out of Tommy.
And this is what Tommy. When people say, "Why did JJ not box?" Like this is why.
Because this is what gets you in trouble. Yeah.
Him in the medium range.
This is what he did to Jake.
You're still there, son.
Yeah, bro.
Tommy's coming right back.
Combination. This is what he did to Jake. Jake missed and stood there. Tommy's like, "Here's 5."
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And this is what I thought he would do more. And another thing we have to talk about too is JJ that's full commit for sure, but Tommy just sees it, right? And he's there, and there's more. He's right back to him.
Get out of there, son.
But that is where I thought he got in trouble a lot, and this is why we got into what I guess we'll talk about next is the biggest kind of fault, or what people are saying is the clinching, right?
Yeah, and the clinching is not the issue; it's the crashing.
There you go.
When you look at the boxers at the highest level, the thing that I aspire to, like what they're so good at, is their ability to close the gap so well, but stay at perfect punching range where they can take your head off and still stay in the pocket and move, but still an ability in a place where they can land punches. They have no choice but to clinch here because they're crashing. Remember when Gib and I were sparring? It's just
forward. Yeah,
that's what makes it so clunky because we're crashing into each other. I'm like, back up. We need some,
we need to move
room
here.
to work. Need room to work.
Facts.
Right? So it's just you see that from Tommy. I think what happens is it's tough because JJ's so far back and he's covering so much space. So then you think you have to then close the gap, and then he's there, and then you end up crashing.
And I was going to say, JJ got blamed for a lot of the clinching. To be fair, JJ did do a lot of clinching behind his stuff.
It's all JJ's fault. But I don't blame him, though, because this is...
I don't even agree that it's all
JJ's
JJ's
path
fault.
to victory.
Because what are you supposed to do? If Tommy does this and he comes in a little sloppy, if he does this and misses, a natural progression is either throw that uppercut or go here, shoulder into his chest.
Yeah, he crashes into him.
That's what I'm saying. Tommy is also to blame for this a little bit because he overcrowds his work. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying he has to overcommit because JJ's bouncing around the damn ring.
But JJ's so unorthodox. And also, again, the majority of the time JJ does provide offense, he is looking to flat out clinch you after. So it's like, okay, I understand that. But yeah, this was a big issue. And then we get into another big issue, which is right here. And I think there was a little bit shown in the first round that we may didn't take a look at, but the penalties in the clinch and the hitting behind the head, which is going to be a reason for a point taken in this round. Talk to me about what you thought about that.
JJ smart for selling that thing, bro.
That's what I told people. He sold this so well from the first or second time that it happened. Like, there it is, one. And he's looking at the referee. Ref, come on.
Yep.
Come on. This is the second time. And look, at even Alexis is on the ring apron. Ref, what are we doing here, huh? And so now he's had the warning a couple times. 1 point behind the head. Do you feel
go ahead.
As if this was as one-sided as it was made out to be with the punches behind the head?
What do you mean as one-sided?
Both guys were doing this.
Oh, yeah, but I felt like
Tommy did it more.
Tommy definitely did it more.
Tommy did it more, for sure. But again...
But you got warned, bro.
That's what I'm saying. But again, JJ brought attention to it. Tommy never did.
Right, you've been warned. So you've been warned a couple times. That point's getting taken.
Another thing that's tough in the clinches, too, and both guys did it, was when we're clinching, you're obviously going to use your weak shoulder, or your lead shoulder, I should say. When the right hands are coming in, you're going to duck your head away from that right hand.
Yeah.
Which does end up meaning, okay, that shot that's planned to go either here. Now, Tommy does, by the way, I should say this, Tommy does look to scoop with his right hand.
I was going to say,
more,
I think that the refs are forgiving if you're pulling back and trying to fit that punch.
But he's just, and we're going
doing
here
this,
just
right.
because. Right.
There's different than, because Tommy's literally going,
Tommy
I'm
scoops.
smacking you in the back of the head.
He's scooping his right hand, and this is the thing he does. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, he was purposely trying to hit him behind the head.
No, it just looks super
But Tommy
obvious,
throws this way. When he throws his right hand too to the body, he scoops it. There isn't this like, and it's because Tyson throws that way too. But there isn't this like deliberate like, here's my hook, here's my right hand. It's almost like just a, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like a Logan Paul right hand or a slappy shot. But I felt
JJ threw his right hand like that a lot. He got so much trouble hitting people in the back of the head.
I know, fair play to him. He did cool it. He did cool it a lot in this fight with that. He looked a lot more pointed with his right hand this time around.
He only threw one overhand at the end of the fight.
I know. Everything else was either like straight down the middle or even he had a couple of uppercuts in there. And I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed that. But I thought for Tommy to lose a point here was, I mean, of course it was, a massive turning point in the fight.
Oh, yeah.
Massive. Because now, and this happened, funny enough, this happened in the Jake fight the other way. Jake got a point taken. It wasn't for hitting on that. I think it was for holding early in the fight.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
And changed, I think, a little bit of how, that fight went. Granted, it was going to be one of those fights, I think. But Tommy has to fight from behind now, and Tommy's not used to fighting from behind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this was a major point here. So we're in round 2. Tommy gets the point taken. Obviously a big deal. You can see it right here. That right there. And again, it's like a little bit of a, he's like over the, you know what I'm saying? He's a scoop. It's a scoop right hand. And I know he's just trying to land, but it's like, dog, you've been warned about it. They have to take, like, you have to take that point.
Because it's not like a partial. It's like, that's straight
Clanged
to the brainstem, dude.
Clanged him. So again, and again, you see Tommy just big
reaction from Tommy.
Big reactions. And he doesn't even recognize that this one comes right through the guard. Even though it doesn't land clean, he pushes him. But that one landing, it's like a push one. He's like, okay. He goes right back into it. And this for the life of me, this exchange we're about to see, just baffles me. It's like you throwing the double jab uppercut, walking in, knowing that the right hand is the shot JJ wants to go to.
Right, yeah, no.
You moving forward to throw that right hand or to throw that uppercut is the opposite of what you want to do, but here we go. It's just like you're going to get just absolutely hammered with that shot.
Yeah.
And again, he just doesn't see it. And that's, the typical kind of JJ work here in the clinch. And this was another, and that's one behind the head, but this is another thing.
Yeah, but see how he's pulling his head back and trying to throw it? Because he lands it correctly a couple times.
He lands the first couple, and then he just goes right back
punch,
to the well,
to the well. It's the same punch. Right.
Granted, but if it lands where it lands, that's still a shot back there. The intent, I understand, but it's still a shot back there. You know what I mean?
But that's part of it, though, I think, with maybe the
if you can determine intent, yeah. If you can determine
if he feels like it's more intentional, like, hey, bro, like it's all like you're not even trying.
Right. Which, again, is a good reason that JJ and coach are selling that. Because they're like, what?
Yeah.
Looky. You know what I'm saying? And Tommy's just kind of whatever, Okay.
Yeah, JJ did the whole,
And he fell down the first round. He was like, to the ground.
He gave him that LeBron
He gave him the Pineda. He gave him the Pineda, bro.
LeBron flop.
He gave him the Pineda.
God.
It's like, no, come on.
Remember when LeBron got hit?
Yeah.
Tyson Chandler?
The back screen? So then we get to this portion of the fight, and we'll let it run here while we're talking about this because we're probably going to see a lot of it. How do you value what happens here in the clinch, right? Because it's not talked about a lot, but it's a bit of a scoring gray area in boxing, the clinch is, right? Yeah, Tommy got some shots off there. Because
like
this right here,
landed.
These punches are not technically counted
as weird.
Significant strikes. Because the Marquess of Queensberry rules state that punches inside of the clinch are illegal, which is why it's called dirty boxing. So it's a little tough but it's always been recognized as a place you work, work in there to, soften up the opponent, right? Land something and create space, break clinch, then go.
If one arm is like,
if one arm's hooked, right.
They don't, it's just like whatever.
Right.
But like, unless it's like a really significant shot, Because if you're clinched, but you're hand fighting,
though.
and then you're throwing punches, but your arms are both.
But you're not connected. These should be scoring shots, right? When you're not connected, it's the connection that establishes the clinch. Like right here, we're connected, but then we're not, and then we're connected again. So it's such a gray area to score, but it was clear, to at least to me, that the judges were not valuing it very much at all. Yeah, and if they were valuing it, they were like, okay, well, both guys are landing. I thought JJ was landing some of the more significant ones in there.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, I don't know. It just didn't look like they valued it very much.
I can't win you a round.
That's what I'm saying. At that point, it's like, I mean, that can't be the difference maker, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so when that's taken away, and I think this is where people they're getting either their JJ wins a round or their Tommy wins a round from what's left in the rubble after that. And there's not much left, right? You're really picking at bones here. For Tommy, it's ring generalship and his jab. For JJ, it's the big moments. It's the right hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's where these rounds became so razor thin in some cases that you're just grasping at air. And if you go one way, it's like, of course JJ won. And if you go the other way, it's like, this is easily a Tommy Fury victory. It's like, it's like
you're on one side or the other.
And this is what you said. The sport is dying because of stuff like this. The gray area, the subjective judging, which is, to be fair, a problem in MMA too. It's a problem.
Yes, it's a big issue, dude. I can't stand it.
It's just, I mean, is it a lack of established rule set? Is it a lack of, or is it just a grandfather rule set? Or
stupid tradition, bro? This guy had a wrong score. He did the math wrong, dude.
Quick maths were not working,
bro. We should see it. I don't know.
Round by round scoring too would help. Round by round scoring would help.
Yes, round by round scoring, so you can know who the hell's winning or not. Who's guessing?
Because here's another
guessing.
I know. Here's another thing that we'll talk about. We're in round 3 right now. After this round, I'm pretty sure JJ goes back to his corner and Alexis is telling him we're up big. You know what I'm saying? Like we're up. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing what you're doing. There was no adjustment, even when Tommy did start to adjust a bit here in this 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, all the way through the 6th. There wasn't a lot of adjustment from JJ, and I don't think that's because they couldn't have. I think it's because they went,
I know, bro.
Maybe we don't need to. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. You have subjective scoring, and you're not allowed to see how they're scoring subjectively, so you can make an adjustment. Because if you go round 2, you think you won, and they go based off the subjective scoring. No, you didn't win. Oh, what I'm doing is not working.
Let's switch it up.
Maybe I should switch something else because they're looking for this.
Yep.
But we get none of that. We get, well, if I known that, then
we're winning the fight in Tommy Fury. We're boxing his head off, whatever. It's like
so weird. Bro.
2 different ways of looking at it, man. But okay, so I had it going into round 3 as we see here. I had this as it would have been 3-0 fight for JJ at that point because I had him winning the 1st round and I had him winning the 2nd with the point deduction.
Yep, that's right. Yep,
that's what I had it. 3rd round I felt went to Tommy. We're now in the 4th round. I also thought the 4th round went to Tommy.
Yep.
The 5th round is a little bit of a contentious spot. And in my video, I think I probably misspoke in my video, which people are going to give me some flack for. But I thought it was an even round. We'll watch the end of the 4th here. Again, you see him, we're tied up and then we're throwing. That's a little bit of a veteran kind of savvy move from Tommy too.
Yeah, that's why JJ can't be in there, bro. He's going to get that's
like if the referee isn't physically separating you and there's a break, you got to keep fighting, right? You can't just look for, you know what I'm saying, these little moments are okay, referee's coming. No, he ain't. Bang bang, you know what I'm saying? Quick little ones. But at this point, you started to see a bit of adjustment from Tommy.
Just crash in there.
Yeah, adjustment from Tommy. And also, this is what I said to you in the live stream. It looked like JJ was getting a little bit tired.
Oh, yeah.
And the bounce started to look forced. Like, I'm just doing this to do it, to stay with what we said we were doing. Because it looks like he's, in the first couple of rounds, he's gliding. You know what I'm saying? He's moving off the ground. It doesn't look like it's taking a lot of effort. It looks like he's pushing weight into the ground at this point. You know what I'm saying? To get to that.
Yeah.
Like he
has to stick with it.
But he has to stick with it because this is what we.
That's where all the power and force comes from. If you watch right there, the bounce allows him to counter whenever he wants. It allows him to move.
Yep.
it also makes the punch more non-telegraphic because you're in motion already to throw that right hand.
Yep.
You know, and up until this point, it's working.
By the way, Hasbulla's friends back here talking his shit.
That might be his enemy, dude.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I think they're friends. I think they're working. This was nasty, though, from JJ.
That's not working.
The idea was nasty. We talked a lot about this in the live stream. The ideas were there.
And it's tough, too, because if it doesn't look pretty, you don't know how the judges, they're like ring generalship.
Right.
And like,
that was a big deal, too, ring generalship. Tommy overshoots the jab again. JJ looks to go uppercut, just not enough room to get it off. He comes back to that later in the fight. He also misses it later in the fight, but I liked the idea. I thought what JJ was doing to an overshooting Tommy is what Tommy should have instinctually and with his experience been doing to JJ as he overshot.
Yeah, you just got to, bro, all you got to do is trade. When somebody blitzes like that, you just got to throw a power shot. Just commit. That's it. Bro, look what happened to Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
I mean, look what happened to what Tyron Woodley did to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Just
look
commit.
What happened to MVP.
When MVP full commits, big right hand, whatever, just commit. It's dangerous, though. It's easy for us to be like, oh, just
look what
commit.
happened to Lyoto Machida against Shogun.
Yeah.
You blitz and we just sit down and throw an overhand.
Don't.
Or blitz and throw a straight shot.
Right here for Tommy, right? If you're able to sit down on a shot and just trade with him overhand for
jab,
right
just
hand.
All you got to do is jab. Just hold your hand out. We'll run right into it. Our Scardy guys will run into
like
it
you
every
said,
time.
though, you want to go, let's trade right here. We're in the pocket. Overhand for overhand. Who gets there first? You know what I'm saying? Let's get head off center and throw.
And you don't even have to because JJ's blitzing into it.
Yeah, short right hand. Bang. Bang, bang.
This is why in sport karate, like most of us, we kick a lot because we can't be moving in on a punch like that every time.
Right.
We get our heads taken off.
Right.
So a lot of time we lead with our feet when we're blitzing.
So round 5, like I said, this was the round where I went, I don't know if I see a winner in this round. Like it was, in my opinion, it was so dead even that I went, okay, either both guys won this round, and that's what I said in my main channel video. I was like, okay, 10-10. But now that I'm looking at it and the way I wanted to probably come off saying what I was trying to say is I didn't see a winner of the round, which would be a 9-9.
Gotcha, yeah.
Which is super rare, and it maybe is even a cop-out for me to go, oh, well, because you're never seeing that. But, dude, in rounds where we're landing 4 punches or 3, and the rest is clinch, ring generalship, space, and all that, I just don't – you could maybe say that for a lot of the rounds here, but this one in particular, I was just like, I can't – I have no idea who to give this to. And it doesn't feel fair for me to make some sort of argument for one guy that I don't even know that I believe.
Yeah.
So I gave this, I said in my own video 10-10, but I'll go 9-9 here. This is a draw round for me. And it's because JJ didn't land super significant outside, I think, 1 punch. And Tommy didn't land anything of real dominance the entire round. It was a lot of that. Jab, clinch, let's work here.
A lot of miss, crash, and just...
Does this stuff really
MMA,
even matter?
MMA
Behind the
punch.
head stuff, like, and then swing, miss, push. It's like, it's just not a lot there, man. So I'm like, how do I score that? And they're both tired, and so it's going to get a little more sloppy. We get that. See, that was the idea from JJ. If that landed, buddy, you know what I'm saying? Because that was such a great idea.
Yeah.
Head off center, bro. And look at Tommy overcommit. Look at that leap in with that jab. But he doesn't need to take up that kind of space.
Nope.
80-inch reach. Look at, you're short-armed it. You short-armed it because you went too far. And JJ had the right idea.
Hard part. But this is the hard part with that stance, uppercut.
Yeah, because you're already, because you're not square enough
all
for
the
it.
way.
Not square enough
Very
for
difficult.
It's a good idea, though.
What would be good is a left hook.
Yeah, he went away from it this fight.
Oh, my gosh, bro. That's all you needed, dude.
So I go 9-9, 10-10, whatever. And then round 6, I actually gave to Tommy. Meaning this fight, in my opinion, was a draw.
Gotcha.
Again, cop-out answer, whatever. I can't give you anything else because I don't think JJ lost this fight. I'm not going to sit here and be like majority decision for Tommy. I just don't, or whatever it became. I don't see that. I don't see JJ losing it. I also don't see JJ winning it. I felt like this was the round. And how many times on live stream was I like, JJ, something. Let's separate. Someone have us. And I was, of course, we were wanting JJ to separate, but anyone separate.
Yeah.
And again, in this final round, Tommy is able to jab a couple more times. And in this ring generalship stuff, and like, all right. Even there, you know what I'm saying? Referee warns him about it, but this is how you work out of a clinch. Referee did step in there, though.
Yeah, he was. He had his hands on him, so.
Yeah. But this is, I'm like, okay, double jab, hand to the body, I guess.
And they're both entering the clinch. Even the fact that Tommy, this shows a lack of experience in Tommy, because if you go back there, JJ tries the clinch from way too far out. And Tommy just also initiates, like, just goes right into the hug. I think it was before that. Was it before that?
Right here.
Right here. JJ's going to clinch. And instead of
and
Tommy
look at
just
the
standing
shot
look at
selection, dude. This is an uppercut or a short right hand. And
So
Tommy goes
closer.
Look at Tommy go wide with this. What?
Trying to throw a
not the
body
shot.
shot, but it just
I'm
doesn't
not
make
even,
sense.
but
And
yeah, okay, body shot, but
then you clinch.
look at this space.
Just stay there and throw punches. You know,
Stay there, throw a
JJ's
right
already
hand.
committed to clinching. He's
Yeah.
ducking and he's trying to grab.
He takes that from here, which would be a natural progression to go there or there to then outside wide, extend, and then slap. Like, what the heck, dude? It's a nice body shot, I guess, but it's just so much more effort for such little result. And again, we're nitpicking. There's a nice right hand. He just missed it. But we're nitpicking, you know.
Nice right hand.
That was a
by
sick
JJ.
right hand, yeah. And they got the camera on MVP. How much influence, not even just influence, how much one-on-one do you think has gone on between those two? Because he's rarely mentioned as an integral part of camp, but you have to think he is.
He gotta be. JJ did move a little bit like this because Vidal has this a little bit. Had like his style that he likes when he's just like that Roy Jones, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is just MVP. This is sport karate 1-on-1.
And MVP's had some success in boxing with this.
Yeah, he has.
You know, he's knocked guys out.
He just happened to be a sport karate world champion, but
yeah. So again, this is kind of
then
how
again
this
there.
thing ends.
See, why is Tommy JJ like talk about getting left off the hook? For no reason, Tommy backs up, right? But before that, when they were clinching and throwing uppercuts, this is where the experienced boxer, and this is where I thought JJ was going to be in so much trouble. Like right here, boom, boom, and then did
Just
Tommy
here.
get hit by an uppercut? Is that why
I think
he
he
leaves?
got headbutted.
I think so.
I think he got headbutted.
Yeah. But he's
I don't
here, he
know
gets
what
headbutted, and then he
happened.
backs up.
What was that was?
But like,
yeah, it just gave JJ space to operate.
yeah.
And didn't, if you're going to give space, operate yourself.
That's where an experienced boxer gets hit, and he comes right now. Because JJ's standing with his arms down, power shot, frame, double jab, back to medium range, and I'm ripping combinations, taking your head off, son.
Yeah.
So that's where, you know, there he goes. Gave him that space. JJ said, let me take it.
And you know what the word they used was, and I thought this is the best way to put it? The fight. Not the boxing match. The fight.
Right. So to me, that's what matters. And you know how I feel about scoring, because I think it's so subjective that if people,
you could get away with
the
any,
score,
you could change it sometimes to fit, like even with the Jake fight. Like I don't like to compare them because they were different fights, but with Jake getting a split, I've still to this day been like, I don't know how he got a split out of that. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. It's so,
but he gets the knockdown
also,
and the point, and the, you know what I'm saying? You got to
so
like play
subjective.
math.
And since the subjectivity is not allowed to influence the fight as the fight's going on, I find it so useless, and I don't care about the score so much because, again, what if I knew about the score?
That's what I'm saying. Would
different?
it change your mind if we had live scoring?
Well, yes, because I feel like then the fighters, you give them a chance to correct.
They can adjust.
And because of that, it makes it less subjective, because now you can't sit behind, well, I would have done this then if I'd known. It's like playing basketball, bro, and then you literally
have no idea what the score is.
What?
You have no idea what the score is. You're playing basketball without knowing the score.
No idea what the score is. Then you're like, I think we're down by 1, so you shoot a 2, but you were down by 3. It's like, but I could have shot a 3. That's, to me, it's exactly the same thing. So when you go, oh, but we beat you, it's like, bro, we didn't even know what the score was, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
do you think the reason that we don't do live scoring is it eliminates? This is a stupid reason, but is it just because it eliminates suspense?
Bro, I think it's just the way that people have done it, and I don't know if it's the commissions. They don't want to vote. They want to protect themselves. I don't get it though. I don't know why.
You can't get removed mid-fight. Just if you score bad, you score bad the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So the only thing is that people don't want to get called their BS.
I think it's a suspense thing. It's like, oh, what's the moment? Who won? Whether when the fans would know.
Stupid.
It's stupid. I agree. It's ridiculous. But it's that moment. And that's just my opinion. I don't know. Because regardless, if they're not punishing guys now for bad decisions, why would they punish them more for live scoring bad decisions? Same thing.
And they know they do say too is like, oh, but if a guy knows he's losing, then or knows he's winning,
he won't fight.
He'll take his foot off the gas. Bull crap. Because you know what you do get? You get two guys who both think they're winning, and they both take their foot off the gas.
There you go.
That's the worst thing. The guy who's actually losing thinks he's winning and doesn't go for the win.
You've seen it.
How many times have we seen
on this
that?
Card? We saw it.
We're sitting there yelling at our screen. All of us are doing this.
Go.
You need the ball. Go. And he's like,
no idea.
Then the bell rings, and he's like, let
Hands
me sell
up.
to the judges. I think I won. Maybe they'll think I won now.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
The fight's over. Why are your coaches telling you raise your hands to show the judges? Why? Isn't the score supposed to be already done?
Yeah, bro.
Why am I trying to
show the judges
of
right?
anything when the bell has already rung?
It's hilarious.
What are we doing?
It's hilarious.
I hate it, dude.
Yeah, bro.
I hate it so much.
I know.
Bro.
So, in your opinion, this is an indictment more on just boxing garb. Like I said, the traditional boxing, old school, whatever whatever keeps this the way it is. Because let's be honest, in no other sport other than combat sports do you never have like a finality. Except this. It's like, honestly, it's like battle rap, and people don't understand what that means when I say it because no one watches battle rap but me, apparently.
Yep.
But when you have battle rap, it's judged, like you said, by the people. It's like, 2-1, debatable. There's no judging.
Subjective.
Because everybody likes something
subjective.
different. That's what I'm saying. This is
different judge. Hey, how you feeling today?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Bro.
Right. It could be something as simple as a judge, like we said, not liking KSI style. Or it could be that simple. Yeah. Oh, that's not boxing. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, he's wearing gloves and he's in a ring and he's punching. That's boxing, dog. What are you saying?
Bro, I can't, dude.
It's like, turn sideways, -1. Sorry.
Like imagine basketball. His shot was a little bit better.
Dude.
It was nicer, so he gets 4 points now.
Sean Marion would have been booted out of the league, dog. Sean Marion would have been banned from the sport if that was the case. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Freaking Chuck Webb or somebody up in that bitch shooting free throws. But, okay, so
I hate it.
We get the end of the fight, and I do want to take a look at this because a lot of people are making a big deal about this.
So with that being said, JJ won, and that's the end. That's the end of it. He's the winner, bro.
But yes, we'll see how JJ handles it in the next coming days. Here, let's ask this question because by the time this video comes out, it may have already been decided. They are filing an appeal, apparently. How do you think that goes?
Then I get in that.
Yep, I agree.
Tommy got the one and only.
A unanimous decision.
Tommy got the one and only one because after Tommy appealed it and got it.
That was it. Precedent.
So my whole team wanted to appeal. I'm like, whatever. Then this guy, everyone's appeal. Because once Tommy got it, they're like, now everyone's gonna want to appeal.
Exactly.
We're not giving him another one. That's it.
I don't think in the professional world you rarely, like ever, it could be atrocious. It could be this guy didn't win a round and somehow he won the belt, and you're not getting that overturned. So I try to tell
once
people,
they do one and they realize the reaction. And everyone lost trust in them, they're not going to do it again.
Yeah, bro, because you undermine
yourself. Back their
You
scoring.
know what I'm saying? Exactly. You undermine yourself and prove what a lot of us have been saying about the PBA. And not just the PBA, but boxing scoring is a flat-out fucking joke sometimes. But that's where we'll leave it, Sensei. We look at it as a W for KSI just for what he was able to do and the heights he's been able to get to. Hey, gang signs, okay. And outside of that, I didn't even talk about this. What do we need to see next? What's next? Bro. I know, but I know. I'm just asking because
Jake Paul versus KSI, bro.
KSI.
Because now we realize we don't really care about this.
Exactly.
And it doesn't give us our answer.
No. It never was going to. It was never going to. Listen,
now we get KSI, Jake Paul, the biggest.
The big one.
Influencer boxing fight
Moby
with
Dick,
all
buddy. The
big
marbles,
fucking
Moby Dick. That's what we want. We want that whale, dog.
We
want
know,
that
bro.
fat Moby Dick, bro. That's what we want.
That's all
Okay?
you need, son.
Captain Ahab over here. I'm taking that Moby Dick with me. You understand what I'm saying? But listen, there is a little bit of a cog in the wheel here. Jake Paul slated to fight December 15th. Came out today.
Nice, cool.
Does that drive any of the value up or down? That he's not going to... I mean, I assume it's not going to be KSI.
Depends who it is, and if he gets a bigger win. If it's a big win, it's bigger because now...
What if it's not a big name? Because I don't know that it will be for this one. Because you know what?
I don't think it'll affect it. It won't affect it negatively. I think you can only affect this positively.
Okay. So I'm saying, what if it's not a big name, but it's a legitimate boxer and Jake doesn't win? Doesn't matter, right? Because we've already seen it.
Nope. I don't think
at this point, I don't think
unless
the
the
loss,
only
unless he
way
gets
it can be
knocked out
less
cold.
is if he fights. Well, if he fights somebody like lesser.
Yeah.
If he fights like an influencer or whatever, or if he fights someone like that,
then you could have
and he
already
loses
done
that, then you have less. Other than that, if he loses against somebody who he's not supposed to beat, or whatever, against an experienced guy or a big name, it doesn't hurt. I think it brings more eyeballs.
Well,
and
I
it just
think
helps him more.
The date itself is a Friday date, meaning I think Most Valuable Prospects number 3 is coming up. And if I remember correctly, Most Valuable Prospects number 4 was slated for December 15th. So I think Jake's going to headline that card, and I don't know who it's going to be against, but a Friday night of fights probably is not going to be on pay-per-view. So you wouldn't think they'd waste a big name on non-pay-per-view. So it'll be interesting who he fights.
Yeah, it is.
I kind of like it, but at the same time, it's like, I hope we're not getting sidetracked on the side quests to get the main thing to still be the main thing, you know? Still got to be Jake and KSI. I don't want to see Tommy rematch KSI. I don't even really want to see Jake rematch Tommy.
Tommy, you know what, Tommy? Go do your thing. Let's watch.
That's the thing. He came out after and was like, yo, I'm the head of the table now. I'm the main thing. They're going to have to... And I was like, dude, you realize if these two get their heads out of their asses, no pun intended, and just decide to go, yeah, let's fight each other finally. You're not even at the table. You're at the kids' table.
Bro, he's not at the table. He's at the table with Idris Virgo and
he's in the fucking
Anthony
fountain
Taylor.
with
Anthony
Idris Virgo.
Anthony Taylor's sitting at the table across.
Facts.
But he's kind of there.
Tommy's in the fountain fighting the freaking water like Idris was in his promo for Aaron Chalmers. That's where Tommy's at.
Yep.
Legit. Because it's watered down, buddy. That's what you did. You watered it down. We have some other updates that we're going to talk about in another video, but this is where we're going to leave this one. Like I said, W for the community. I thought W for KSI. Unfortunate, obviously, the way it went, but I thought it proved a lot of things. One of those being that we love saying KSI's name in Mike Tyson's voice. Go ahead.
KSI.
KSI. Comment section, you let us know. What happens next for KSI? Do they win this appeal? Does he rematch Tommy? Does he fight Jake? We don't have those answers, but...
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs.